want to tell you something. Not to teach you, and I've tried a lot of things, and I think I finally understand something I wish I'd understood at 30. I'm 85 years old. I wake up every morning now a little slower than the day before, and I sit at the edge of my bed for a moment before I stand.
I'm 85 years old. I wake up every morning now a little slower than the day before, and I sit at the edge of my bed for a moment before I stand. Not because my body always makes me, but because I've learned to just pause. To let the morning be quiet before the noise starts. There isn't much noise anymore. But I pause anyway. I want to tell you something, not to impress you, not to teach you, just because I've been alive a long time and I've tried a lot of things and I think I finally understand something I wish I'd understood at 30. I spent most of my life trying to be happy. I mean that literally. It wasn't a passive thing. I actively, deliberately, persistently tried. I read the books. I made the money. I chased the career. I moved cities. I changed relationships. I changed habits. I exercised. I meditated. For a while, at least. I drank less. I drank more. I found God. I lost God. I found Him again. Somewhere around 62, and then had a long argument with Him that I'm not sure either of us won. I tried everything. And here's the thing. Nobody tells you. Most of it worked. For a little while. That's the cruel part. You find something that lifts the weight. A new job, a new city, a new version of yourself. And for 6 months, maybe a year, you feel it. You feel lighter. And you think, this is it. I found it. And then the weight comes back. Slightly different shape. Same heaviness. I was 41 when I got the promotion I'd been working toward for 9 years. Regional director, corner office, a salary that would have made my father's jaw drop. I remember calling my dad from the parking garage that evening. He said, "I'm proud of you, son." And I said, "Thank you," and I meant it. And then I sat in my car for 20 minutes and felt almost nothing. Not sad, not ungrateful, just empty. Like I'd been running toward a door and finally opened it and there was just another hallway. I told myself it was stress, that I needed a vacation, that I needed to decompress, that happiness was just around the next corner. That's what I kept believing, that it was around the next corner. I had a wife, Sandra. We were married for 22 years. She was patient in a way that I didn't deserve, and I knew it even then. But knowing something and acting on it are two different things when you're busy and distracted and convinced that the most important thing you can do is keep moving. We had 2 kids, David and Claire, and I was there. I want to be clear about that. I was present in the physical sense. I was in the house. I showed up to the recitals and the games and the graduations. I did those things. But there's a difference between showing up and being there, and I didn't understand that difference until it was too late to do much about it. I remember Claire's 8th birthday. We had a party in the backyard. Balloons, a cake with her name in pink frosting, the whole thing. And I spent most of it on the patio on a phone call I convinced myself could not wait. I could see her through the glass door. She kept looking over, not upset, just looking, like she was checking to see if I was coming back. I didn't finish that call for 40 minutes. I finished the career, I finished the deal, I finished the project. I was very good at finishing things that didn't matter as much as I thought they did. Sandra left when I was 53, not dramatically. There was no screaming, no betrayal. She just sat down across from me one evening and said very calmly, "I don't think you need me. I don't think you even see me." And I started to argue, and then I stopped. Because she was right. She wasn't angry. That was the hardest part. She was just tired and honest. I spent the next few years the way a lot of men spend that chapter, throwing myself into work, telling myself I was fine, that this was better, that I'd wasted enough time compromising. I was productive, remarkably productive. I look back at that period and I was accomplishing things constantly and feeling almost nothing the entire time. My father died when I was 58. Heart attack, quick, no warning. We'd talked on the phone 2 weeks before and I'd cut the call short because I had a meeting, just a regular Wednesday meeting, nothing that mattered. I cut the call short and I said I'd call him back that weekend and I didn't. I think about that a lot. Not with guilt exactly anymore, more with a kind of quiet sadness that I've made my peace with, but I think about it. Here's what I know now, and this is the thing I tried to tell David last Thanksgiving, though I'm not sure it landed the way I meant it. Happiness, the kind I was chasing, isn't something you find. It's not a destination. It's not a reward for effort. I chased it for decades, and the chasing itself was part of what kept it away. The only time in my life I remember feeling something close to real contentment, not excitement, not achievement, but actual quiet contentment, was in small, ordinary moments that I almost missed entirely. Sitting on the back porch with Sandra on a Sunday morning when the kids were small, just drinking coffee, not talking about anything important. Tuesday evenings when Claire was maybe 6 and she'd fall asleep on the couch next to me while we watched television. Walking to the corner store with my father when I was a boy, holding his hand, not going anywhere in particular. I didn't recognize those moments as the thing I was looking for. I thought happiness would announce itself. I thought it would feel like an arrival, but it didn't. It felt like nothing special. It felt like an ordinary Tuesday, and I kept waiting for something more. I'm 85 now. David calls on Sundays. Claire visits in the summers. They're good kids. They became good people, and I'm proud of them in a way that has nothing to do with what they've accomplished and everything to do with who they are. I live alone. The house is quiet. I've made peace with the quiet, mostly. Some mornings it's fine. Some mornings it sits on me a little heavy. But I'll tell you what I do now, and it's the only thing that works. The only thing that has ever actually worked. I pay attention. That's it. That's the whole secret I spent 85 years and a full life of striving to find. I pay attention to what's in front of me, the coffee in my cup, the light coming through the window, the sound of birds in the morning that I never once noticed when I was 50. The way David laughs, the same laugh he's had since he was a kid. The way Claire hugs me a little longer now when she visits, like she knows something she doesn't want to say out loud. I pay attention, and something in me settles. Not every day, not perfectly, but enough. If you're younger than me, and if you're watching this, you almost certainly are, I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's not what this is. I'll just say, the thing you're building toward might be worth building, but don't wait for it to arrive before you let yourself be where you are. The ordinary Tuesday you're in right now, that's not the waiting room, that's the thing. You may not believe me yet. You probably won't. But one day you'll sit at the edge of your bed in the morning and let the quiet in, and you'll think back to a moment that seemed like nothing at the time, and you'll understand. If any of this stayed with you, I'd be grateful if you shared it with someone who might need to hear it. Not because it'll change everything, just because some things are worth saying out loud before we run out of time to say them.